Hey guys, Cameron Walker here, your favorite Huntsville realtor, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of downtown Huntsville. I know if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I talk a lot about things going on here, things to do in the economic growth, but I haven't shown you a lot of it. So today we're going to remedy that. We're going to take advantage of the beautiful fall weather, do this walking tour, so I can show you what all this direct federal, state, local, and private funding is doing to fund the growth of Huntsville. So we're going to check it all out while we walk through. We're starting off today at my office at Amanda Howard Sotheby's International Realty here on Franklin Street. Two reasons. First, it's convenient for me. Second, we're right on the fringe of what I would consider downtown Huntsville. Once you get to the center of downtown Huntsville, you're only looking at about 2, maybe 3 blocks before you're outside of downtown Huntsville. So this, if you're coming from somewhere like Atlanta, Dallas, Miami, or DC, it's going to be a completely different feel for you. All right, first place we're going to come up on here is the county courthouse. It's located in the courthouse square, like every county courthouse you've ever seen. And outside, you're going to see across the street, we're on the east side of the courthouse. So it's called East Side Square. You're going to see these big benches and stuff like that. It's for people to get out, relax, and enjoy. If you're out on your lunch break or morning walk or jog, it's a great place to get out, just take a little rest, a little seat. You're going to see some picnic tables and, the big Connect 4 thing here. So it just gives a good vibe, lets people get out and enjoy their time out here in downtown. Like I said, on their lunch breaks, early in the morning or afternoons. Around 5 o'clock, you'll see this area really pick up a lot as people get off work, make their way to the restaurants and things around here. All right, there goes our city bus making a lot of noise, so hopefully my mic didn't pick that up. But over here on the north or south side square, I forget which one, we have a lot of businesses, shops over here, restaurants. So you're going to see Poppy and Parliament here in the red. That's one of our great restaurants here. It's got a British theme to it. Next door is a Korean dine-in and carry-out restaurant. I've eaten there several times. It's called Big O's. Probably hard to see the name on it, but it's absolutely fantastic Korean food. Next door is one of the 2 best burger joints in town, Jack Brown's. I'll leave it to everybody to fight it out in the comment section, whether it's this one or Drake's. To our left here, we've got the county courthouse, one of the ugliest buildings in Huntsville. Hopefully to see a facelift soon, but we've got what we've got for now. And we do have 2 courthouses in downtown Huntsville. This is the county courthouse. A few blocks away, we've got our existing federal courthouse. That'll actually be shifting soon. They're going to relocate that. When I talk about that direct federal investment that we're experiencing, that's part of it. That's going to be, I want to say, in the just shy of $100 million to relocate that building and build it new. And it's going to house quite a few things, bankruptcy court, the district court, but also like some of the federal offices. So think like the U.S. attorney and all that. There's going to be additional office space there as well, but with being a courthouse, there's not a ton of that. So here we're coming up on AL.com's building, a lot of office space in there. If you're not familiar with AL.com, it's like the statewide news source. They do a pretty good job of keeping track of Huntsville as well as other places in Alabama. So definitely a website to check out if you want to learn more about what's going on in the Huntsville area. All right, here we are on the other side of the square. We're going to see some more outdoor features. This one's decked out for Halloween and fall festivities. And a little bit of shade on this side. Basically what we're walking up to is really the center of downtown Huntsville. It's where Huntsville was founded, and that's Big Spring Park. First European settlers found the spring there, really built the city around it. So we're coming in on the furthest most edge from that. If you look up ahead, I'm going to try and zoom in for you here. You're going to see a lot of orange fences. That is the new color of downtown Huntsville. As we continue to grow and expand, there's a ton of new construction going on. And in this area, it's all going to be municipal and commercial. Now, there is a lot of residential nearby, but you're talking 2 to 3 blocks over. So right here, you'll be looking at commercial and municipal growth. And this is going to lead us down to Big Spring Park and kind of the canal that goes around. So this is really the start of it. We're going to have another waterfall and water feature over here. And this is one of my favorite koi and duck ponds, or leads to that anyway. Pretty neat little area. My kids love to come out here. As we get further along, you'll see that there's fish feeders, duck food, all that kind of stuff. You know, it costs $1 or $2 to buy a handful of fish food and feed the koi. A lot of green space here. What's really cool is in the winter, we get closer to holiday season, this area is decked out with Christmas trees that local organizations, business, and individuals put out here. It's called the Tinsel Trail. It takes up this entire green space along the edge of the walkway. It's absolutely beautiful. You have all the lighted trees, you have a ton of different decorations, ton of different organizations that provide them. Oh, one thing I do want to point out, if you're ever looking up Huntsville online and you see the beautiful mural that everybody uses as their backdrop, this is where you find it, at the bottom of this parking deck. Off to the left of the park here, you're going to see our City Hall. It's an older building. It's really needed a lot of repair. Maintenance has been keeping it up, but it's time for it to go. So we're actually having a new City Hall built. It's another direct investment in the city, coming from local municipal funds, and it's going to be just shy of $100 million when it's all completed. Could not have asked for better weather today to get out and do this. We're here in like kind of mid-October time frame, and the temperatures in like the mid to upper 60s today. We had a little bit of overcast this morning after a storm passed through last night. Beautiful and sunny, just a few clouds up in the sky today. So as we woke up, we're on kind of the small side of Big Spring Park here. So we get over to the other side, it's gonna be a lot sunnier, so the video may not come through as well, but it's actually a huge open space around the big koi and duck pond. This is where a lot of the festivals and activities in Huntsville take place. So during the winter, they set up an outdoor ice rink, and while it's rarely below freezing in Alabama, somehow or another they manage to keep that ice frozen so people can skate. And then of course they continue the Tinsel Trail over here as well, usually where my business is set up when we set up archery. All right, we're over at Big Spring Park. This is the middle of downtown Huntsville, really where Huntsville was founded. The first European settlers found a spring here. His name was John Hunt, and after several iterations, the city was named after him and became Huntsville. You'll see over here to the left our fountain feature, and this pond is loaded with ducks and koi and all that. But behind that, you're going to see a couple of hotels. It's kind of hotel row for us. This is where people stay when they come to downtown Huntsville, and we're even building some more hotels. While there's several already in the area, as we continue to expand, we need more room because we're hosting so many conferences nowadays. With Huntsville being such a hub for defense and NASA and tech, more and more companies are coming here, more and more trade shows are coming here because they want to take part in that growth. Directly across the pond from us, you'll see Probst Arena. This is where our kind of minor league hockey team plays. The Huntsville Havoc is an absolutely great location. It's also where you'll see a lot of concerts in Huntsville. It serves multiple uses in that space, although the new Orion Amphitheater is opened and has maybe taken over a little bit of that. To the right of it, you're going to see the Braun Center for the Performing Arts. Once again, another great place to catch concerts. You're going to see live comedy and tons of different types of shows. As a matter of fact, my kids, when they take dance class, this is where they come to do their recitals. All right, as we make our way around, you have a big parking deck. Parking's become a bit of a premium for downtown Huntsville. And the city's working to remedy that. They just built a brand new parking deck with more to come. And, there's not a lot of street parking here in downtown Huntsville. Now, downtown Huntsville is significantly smaller than maybe some of the other cities you're familiar with. Atlanta, Dallas, DC, Miami. We're talking massive downtown areas. With Huntsville, we're right now right in the middle of it. And you can go 2 to 3 blocks in any direction, still be part of downtown Huntsville. Once you get out of that, you really hit a lot of different residential areas. Here we have the Huntsville Museum for Modern Art, absolutely stunning building, and been in it several times. We host annual events there, and of course going through, tour and see the beautiful art. Just peeking out over the top of it is our Truist building. So that's the local headquarters for Truist Banks, one of the largest banks in the U.S. They're really headquartered, last I heard, out of Atlanta, but this is a local headquarters. And you'll see there's several banks in the area, Regions and others. The reason they're building their local regional headquarters here instead of other cities is because of our growth. They need those local decision makers to make decisions about commercial loans and lending to the different companies around the area that are both building Huntsville and the ones that are designing and building the rocket ships and everything else that goes into space. So it's great to have those local businesses and banks that are here to make those decisions so that we can continue to grow. All right, here's another shot of downtown Huntsville, Big Spring Park. You're going to notice a ton of ducks here. There's a lot of koi underneath the water too. You're going to see the big crane in the background. That's just more evidence of the just massive growth that Huntsville's experiencing. Directly across the street here, that's the town hall I referenced earlier. Once again, it's going to be relocating in the very near future. Probably take a year to 2 years to build that out. Now, I want to take a second and talk about the growth of Huntsville and what's coming and what's already happened. You know, I would say if we're in a 5-step growth plan, Huntsville's kind of midway through step 2. There has already been a ton of growth, and it's been a really smart areas that's brought additional business to the area, as well as additional housing and really a well-trained workforce. Huntsville's continued to expand and incorporate previously unincorporated county land, which has increased its tax base. That's in addition to all the appreciation we've seen in home values. And Huntsville's making really wise use of those funds that they're collecting from their tax base to continue to expand. They're also leveraging partnerships with the state and the federal level to continue to see increased investment here. We're talking billions of dollars a year coming to Huntsville to continue to fuel this growth that we've experienced. So when you think about cities like Austin, Denver, and others that just experience this explosive growth out of nowhere, that's what you're looking at with Huntsville. We're just at the very tip of it though. Once we get into stage 3 and 4, that's when it's going to be really noticeable. It's going to be on the news and people are going to be like, oh man, I wish I'd moved there 2 years ago. All right, we're right here outside the front of Probst Arena, which is attached to the Braun Center for the Performing Arts here. And you'll see there is a ton of construction going on over here too. So just construction abound in Huntsville, just about everywhere you turn. So if you watch some of my previous videos where I've talked about the pros and cons of Huntsville, I always talk about the economic growth as a big pro, but I also like to talk about how the growing pains are a con. You're going to see here traffic narrows down to 1 lane in either direction due to this construction. Slows down the traffic a little bit here. Now, middle of the day, it's not too bad, but if you're out here in rush hour in the morning or afternoon, it is going to cause a bottleneck here. Now, Huntsville is not that big of a town. We're not talking like an hour-long bottleneck, but it's going to add 5 to 10 minutes to your trip every day. All right, attached to the Braun Center for the Performing Arts is Rhythm on Monroe, one of the coolest places to grab brunch, get a drink or a bite to eat before catching a show at the Braun Center, or headed over to Probst Arena. Directly across the street is one of the biggest developments coming to Huntsville. Now it's got the beautiful chain link fence around it. Nobody can withstand that. What we're looking at here is the site of a future $325 million development in Huntsville. It's going to be mixed-use development with commercial, retail, and residential space. Currently called Huntsville Up Front, but it is going to be absolutely massive. Really fun to see this come into town, much needed. And it's going to continue that expansion and growth that we're seeing in Huntsville. Now, this is more of a privately funded endeavor as opposed to public funds coming from the city, the state, or the federal level. All right, so if you're keeping track, we're talking about just under $500 million in investment in Huntsville, and that's in just a couple of blocks. We have municipal investment in the new City Hall to the tune of almost $80 million. We've got a new federal courthouse coming. It's almost $70 million. And then, of course, we have this development that I'm showing you now that's coming in the future with $325 million in private investment. And like I said, that's just within a few city blocks. As we continue to expand our way out, we'll see more and more construction going on. And we're only in a 3-block radius in downtown Huntsville. All right, we're here on the corner of Holmes and Spraggins. Across the street from us here, you'll see the apartments. This is really the biggest, most luxurious apartment complex in downtown Huntsville. If you want to be right in the thick of the action, have a place to rent, an apartment, this is right where you want to be. Across the street, we're going to see quite a few restaurants going down through here. Right in front of us, we have La Esquina Casina. Next door, we have the Standard, and more restaurants as we go down the street here. So a very active place around lunchtime. We're about an hour early today for that. But, you know, you come around lunchtime, dinner time, it's absolutely going to be packed. And Friday and Saturday nights, it's really hard to get a seat. As you can see across the street at the Avenue, there's some retail and restaurants on the first floor. This is a cue that Huntsville's taken from other cities. Makes their downtowns more enjoyable, more livable for the residents. We're also going to see some orange cones, Bobcat, and torn up road. This is because there's increased construction in this area, which just goes to show you the further investment that's happening here in the Huntsville area. There's literally not a road downtown that's not seeing some kind of improvement, investment, continued economic growth. All right, we're back over by the courthouse. We're on the west side square. You may hear some racket behind me. That's them actually building the new City Hall. So I looked up the numbers on my way back over, and that one's actually to the tune of $85 million. And the contract for the new courthouse is a little over $79 million. I also looked up the name of the development that's going to be $320 million, and it's called Front Row. So I just wanted to get a couple of corrections in there, since I know somebody will put them in the comments if I don't say them in the video. Where I'm walking now, there's quite a few restaurants. Just behind me is one of my favorites, Cotton Row. It's a pretty high-end restaurant for Huntsville. There's a lot of kind of fast casual pizza joints over here too. But if I wanted to tell you about every single restaurant, I'd have to do an entire video on it. But what I can tell you, there's a lot of fantastic restaurants down here. As a matter of fact, my wife and I, one of our favorite date nights is to go out and do kind of a progressive dinner or supper. Start with, cocktails at one place, move on to appetizers at another, entrees and desserts and so forth. Some of your restaurants, you're not going to run out of doing that. And if by somehow you do, just mix it up. Do cocktails at a different restaurant, appetizers at another. So hope you guys have enjoyed this tour. Look forward to talking to you all next week.